fanden er den? Nej, lad være. Godt. Autosave, det er fint nok. Nå, så lad os se. Just the terminal. Det har jeg lige gjort.
Kom jeg skal lige ud og hente noget drik.
Ja, det gør godt.
Hello.
Og for satan. For fem stød på kontakten igen, bare fordi jeg skulle tænde lyset.
Kam lort.
Jeg trækker for stød hele tiden.
The institute is under my guidance.
Det er noget mærkeligt.
I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please. Step into the elevator.
It's stuck.
I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival.
Fedt sted.
Decades of research,
Er du kommet ind i
countless
det
experiments and
institut?
trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future.
Det er nice.
It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground.
Peace.
Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what
Ja, jeg vidste det.
but that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Det er en rykker. Hvad fanden skal jeg her?
No use. Would need the key. Don't have the key. Jammed.
Hvad fanden er det, jeg mangler?
Hvad er det?
Jeg skal bruge en eller anden nøgle.
Nøgle. Hvor er du henne inde i det der institut?
Lige der, hvor man kommer ned af den der elevator der.
Når du er lige kommet ud af elevatoren, så...
Ja. Au.
Så skal du bare... Jeg mener, du skal...
Jamen, jeg er henne i den næste elevator og på vej ind.
Okay.
Lige se.
Nu møder en mand, som du skal snakke med.
Jeg har ikke mødt ham endnu. Meget mærkeligt.
Er der heller ikke en mand, der sådan har snakket til dig over sådan en højtaler?
Jo, men jeg har ikke mødt selve manden.
Nå, okay. Au.
Der må være et eller andet galt. Et eller andet galt. Okay. Hvad gør man så? Så må man bare lige prøve en gang til deroppe. Det der dims der, og så kører op igen. Jeg kan se, der er en eller anden dreng derinde.
Ja, ham skal du hen og snakke med først.
Nå. Nå, der. Sådan der.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Oh my god. It's really you.
Who are you?
Sean, it's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Yes, it's me. Your dad. I'm here, Sean.
What's going on? Father? Father!
Sean, open the door.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here. Help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand.
Nu
We're
møder jeg
only
ham
just
der
now
manden
beginning
der.
to explore the
Man kalder
effects
sig
of
faren
extreme
der.
emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Give me Sean. The real Sean. Right now!
I know. I know. You've gone to such lengths to find him.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
Bullshit.
Is it? After all the things you've seen and experienced in the Commonwealth?
Jeg sagde ikke noget lort.
In the vault. You had no
Jeg sagde
concept of passage of
bullshit.
time. You were released from your pod And when searching for the sun, you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
I think you are stolen. It was right. But why? Makes sense.
This really is a matter of
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
What do you mean by that? What's happened? Well, he was sent out to the Commonwealth to join the Institute.
Yeah, you lost me. I don't see the point of any of this.
You don't see the connection. Let me try to explain. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics, used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
$60 years. So much time. Wasted.
I know. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
It doesn't matter what they think. What matters is what you do.
I'm glad we see it the same way. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give
Der er
me
noget, der siger
time.
mig, jeg ikke stoler på
What
ham.
else can I say to ease your mind?
Ja.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? She was murdered!
Killed? Yes. Murdered? I'm not so sure about that. Still, I do regret never having known her. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. I know there's more for us to discuss, but the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want.
I know. I know you've been through so much. I'm pleased to see it has not impaired your judgment. Forgive me. I'd assume that after everything I'm sure you've seen above ground, you would be more than a bit biased against us. There is much to be done. You'll need time to acclimate yourself, a chance to become acquainted with our procedures.
I'll do whatever it takes.
I am glad to hear that. The Institute is now your home, as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ayo in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Så fik jeg også lige lavet en video med det.
Det var da godt. En søn, som der blev kidnappet, da han var barn.
Ja, det lød det i hvert fald også sådan.
Jeg synes, det er lidt, synes jeg.
Okay. Det er så, det er en seng, kan jeg se.
Glem helt at drikke min iced-tea.
Busted.
Hvor han så ender, om jeg skal snakke med. Oh shit. Hvor det her
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. As far as I'm concerned,
we're all looking forward to working with you. Oh, I don't know. Most of them have lasted long past their projected lifespans. If you ask me, they were built pretty well.
Can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
There we go. All set. Unit, you can return to duty.
Thanks again.
Of course. Good to see you.
Our technology must seem pretty advanced by your standards.
Okay, bladret sted.
Det er en af mine yndlingssteder i spillet.
What's going on here?
Okay, så er der medic derinde.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects
I hope you can appreciate your good fortune.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job. Now hold still.
Not while we... No. How do you want to play this? We thought about trying to lure them out.
Okay.
Make sure they can't disappear on us. That makes sense, right? So, you want to lead the charge?
What do you know about the person who lives here?
Not too much. Wallace is...
There. All done. You can return to your duties. And remember to record every symptom you experience.
I hope I'll prove a useful test subject for you, Doctor.
Excuse me, Doctor.
They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facilities division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
Absolutely.
Oh, good to hear. It'll be a load off Sean's mind. Take your time. Get yourself acquainted. There's a lot to take in. Plenty of things you won't find topside. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the facilities division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Oh.
It must be a challenge to meet the power demands of a place like this.
Absolutely. We scratch and scrape for every precious ounce of voltage that we can. Over the years, we've learned a few tricks that help supplement our power budget. When necessary, we can tap into select sources on the surface. We take only what we need, of course. Fortunately, Advanced Systems is always working on new solutions to generate more energy. It's a good thing, too, because the demand is always increasing. You don't even want to know what a single use of the molecular dematerializer consumes.
It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Okay, hvem skal vi så have fat i? Så prøver vi den blå.
You're only in harm's way because you screwed this up.
Look, I have the same intelligence reports as everyone else. No one saw this coming.
Hey, hvad fanden er det så for et sted? Hvad?
How smart he was and what an asset he could be for phase 3. They watched pretty closely.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Let's just get Wallace and get out of here.
Huh?
Wallace is, well, really.
Så er han stille, så siger lige, så...
That was productive.
Så det flår med i det, fordi der er sådan...
Oh, hi there. Sorry if I seem distracted. I memorized 5 sets of design schematics, and now I'm doing mental comparisons.
That's amazing.
Oh, well, a lot of us do that. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say how much I admire Father, and that it's an honor to meet you. I really hope you'll stay here with us.
No problem.
Rosalind.
One day, I'll design a more efficient reactor to replace that old clunker in the basement.
Okay.
Excuse me, Doctor?
Ah, it's you. You're here then. Yes, I know who you are. We all do. While I'm sure Father is very happy that you're here, I do hope it doesn't interrupt our work.
Mr. Wallace, I'm here to talk to you.
You're another one of them, aren't you? Are you a robot?
What is it you're working on?
Advanced Systems, Special Projects. You've seen the boy, Synth, already. We've been hard at work on him for quite a while now. Oh, before I forget, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
Hey, just calm down, okay? I just want to talk to you.
What do you want from me?
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Now, unless there's something else, I really do need to get back to work.
I'd like a progress report on your division, if you don't mind.
Taking your new appointment in stride, I see. Very well. We've shifted resources off of other projects, like the Child Synth, to focus on Phase 3. I'm hoping that the above-ground efforts are successful. I understand those depend heavily on you.
Think about your future, Wallace.
I'm looking forward to working for you, the director. Okay.
In case anyone didn't mention it.
I mean...
Det er et meget mystisk sted, synes jeg.
Ja, det er det altså.
Welcome to the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak to Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking my quarters in the middle of the night is totally unacceptable.
I'll pass along your message, Doctor.
Scanning unknown identity.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
You smell like you've been above ground.
Pardon me,
Targeting
sir.
package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses with me. You know, send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see.
I know it'll be a difficult adjustment for you, but try to remember that synths are people.
Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity.
I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider.
The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions. It's nothing personal, I assure you.
Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population.
I'm sure it's best for everyone if the synths remain here.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute technology to fall into the wrong hands. The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered it already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Always be vigilant. We have many enemies.
Like any machine, a synth can malfunction. Just wish it didn't happen so often.
Nå, jeg kommer lige med et øjeblik.
suspicious to the SRB. Carry on, sir.
Child sin. It's just remarkable.
Åh nej, tillykke med det, søster.
Nothing to report, sir.
Hi.
Operating at full capacity.
Okay, hvad fanden skal så ud igen? Skal vi se. Skal lige tænke mig om. Det skal jeg. Nå, jeg skal den vej. Okay.
Time to examine my latest reports on batch 274.
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand
He's
eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else
on
one side.
I wonder how the Warwick family is doing. Young Wally must be close to 10 years old by now. It's remarkable that any child can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. Those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject.
They're still people, and they're suffering. We can at least admit that it's regrettable. After all, how can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own humanity?
Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division.
Yes, well, I suppose you're right.
Humanity's future is taking root right here.
Hey, Doc.
Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Seems like there's nothing you guys can't do.
With hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm not sure how well I'll fit in, but I'd like to give it a try.
Great. I was hoping you'd say that. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay.
You mentioned medical care. I might need that from time to time.
In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that.